Hey everybody, welcome back. Today on the stream, we are going to be working on building a marketplace for people who have season tickets and who are looking to have other people join their group. So, for example, if you have bought season tickets and maybe you have a full group, or maybe you have no one, maybe you've just bought season tickets and you want to start sharing them. You'll be able to go on the marketplace and share them and look for other members for your group. So the reason we're doing this is, it's number one, it's a good way to draw in new users to the site, which is something we always want. And number two, it can be a revenue source. So the idea is that a seller, like a person who owns these tickets, will pay a certain amount of money to list that the fact that they're looking for new people. I don't have a set number yet for what that might be. It'll probably be around $10 kind of thing, and that will include as many open slots as you want. It's not like a per slot thing kind of thing. It's just $10 to list what that you have open slots kind of thing. And then of course it'll always be free for people who are searching to join these groups, right? We want to make it enticing for them to want to check it out. So how are we going to do this? We're basically going to TDD all the things, obviously. We're going to build the models, and then we're going to build the Livewire components to actually display that thing on the screen. And as I was showing when the stream started here, this is generally what I would like the marketplace to look like, at least at first, right? And again, I'm not a designer, but I feel like this is kind of the crucial information I would need to make a decision as a searcher, if I was interested in buying or joining a season ticket group. These are the kinds of things that I'd want to know. So like, where are the tickets? How many seats am I getting as part of my buy kind of thing? And then because we're on StubSquad, what pick pattern does this group already use to do their picks? And then obviously, like, how much am I going to pay to join this group kind of thing, right? So the marketplace itself is going to look like this, obviously, but each one of these is going to be some kind of instance of a ticket season search, and I'm not really convinced that's the best name, but after a little bit of thinking, I couldn't come up with a better one. So for right now, we're just going to stick with that, and if we come up with a better option later, we can always rename it and stuff. So I think what we will do is just start getting started building out this model, the ticket season search model, and with its various fields and stuff. And then once we get that built, we can basically hard code some stuff in there to kind of build out a very simple view of the Livewire component. And then we can start wiring up like the dynamic stuff. So like the team name and the logos and stuff, right? So like every team is going to have the background color might not be there because we don't actually track that. But we have the logo, so we'll be able to show the logo and make it look kind of nice. So yeah, let's just, I think, get started here. So after the previous stream, I did go through, pardon me, and create a bunch of to-do tests here. So like this ticket season search. So like these are the things that this model has to have. So it belongs to a ticket season, cannot be created in an existing search, blah, blah, blah. So I think what we'll do is we will just start going through these one by one, and yeah, just kind of work our way through this list. For the record, I have about 2.5 hours today to work, but I will be able to stream again tomorrow. I'll have quite a bit of time tomorrow afternoon to go, hopefully 3 or 4 hours tomorrow. My goal is to have this marketplace live by the end of the week, at least in its current conceived incarnation kind of thing. Obviously, as things come up, we might want to add stuff later, but at least I want to have a basic working marketplace by the end of the week. So let's go like this. And so we're going to say it belongs to a ticket season. Of course, this is not going to work. We're going to say search equals ticket season search factory create. And we want to expect search ticket season to be instance of ticket season class. Exactly. season. That's unfortunate. So use app models ticket season. Okay, so obviously this is going to fail because we don't have this model, of course. So let's do that. So art make model ticket season search, and we will make a migration and a factory just to simplify things. And so we will yank that. Failed this. Okay, so belongs to ticket season, failed asserting that null is an instance of this class, right? So we now want to go into the ticket season search factory, and we want to say sorry, season is a ticket season factory. Okay, we need to add the migration, or the line in the migration. So search table ticket season searches. Yes, and we want to say table foreign ID for ticket season. Okay, so what are we missing here? Season ID, insert into ticket seasons, integrity. Oh, right, because when we're creating a ticket season, there needs to be a user. So we have to say this, acting as user factory create. Undefined type app models ticket season search. I believe you are wrong, sir. Insert into ticket season. There's no column named season. Ticket season. Actually, no. This, we're going to say just season. Okay, why is this failing now? Ticket season search has no column named season. Oh, right. So now we need to add the relationship. So we are going to say function season. It's going to return a belongs to relationship, and this belongs to a ticket season. Oh, and return that. Okay, so how close are we? Has no column named. Oh, right, because we need to also add the season ID. Ticket season search factory. This should be season ID. And actually, I'm realizing because this is being auto-generated by the Laravel, or by Eloquent, we want to change that to ticket season. So cool. We now have a working relationship between the search and the ticket season. Okay. Next, cannot be created if an existing search is already created for that season. So what we will do is we will yank this, we'll paste it, and then we will say, so we're going to say ticket season equals factory create. Yep. And we want to recycle the ticket season. So basically what this is saying is we want to use that that ticket season. We're going to use it multiple times here, kind of thing. So we want to say, so we're going to say this one's going to be the one we actually care about. Get season search. Let's do this the right way and use the recycle ticket season. Okay, so we want to say a search, expect that search. Now I believe this should actually throw a database error. For right now, I'm just trying to think of which. You know what? We're just going to have to add this to the migration here. So we want to say insert, and this needs to be unique. And we want to, we're just going to expect, I think this is going to fail for a different reason, but that's fine because we just need to get the actual exception name that's going to throw. Yeah, integrity constraint. So what is the unique constraint violation exception? Okay, so now I don't remember offhand how to expect an exception with pest. I think it's like a trailing field. Yeah, so throws, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so we want to say throws unique constraint. Constraint violation exception. Right, yes. Okay, so now if we run this, perfect. Now I wonder if we can just go like this. Okay, cool. So it works. Okay, it can be active or inactive. Okay, so we are going to say, you know what, we're going to put this in a before each, I think, because we're going to be doing this for basically every test. So okay. This ticket season, okay, and okay, and we want to say this. Okay, so that test still passes. That test still passes. Okay, perfect. Okay, so now we can say. So now our tests are just going to be dealing with the actual search stuff. Okay, and actually I want to call this is active, like making my Booleans kind of an is or has, just to make it super clear by looking at them that there's only, you know, two things that it can have. Either it is that thing or it's not that thing, or it has that thing or it doesn't have that thing. That's kind of the general convention I go by when I'm making models. So let's go to our factory, search factory, and we are going to say, oh, and it's been a while since I've had to do a, okay, so I'm just going to use what it's suggesting here, and then we're going to change it. So we're going to say inactive, the one that I made first. Yes, inactive is active is going to be false. Okay, so there's no column. We expect that. That's fine. So we're going to say table Boolean is active. And we are going to default it to true just because if this is being created, it's specifically because someone is wanting to search for this thing, right? So like there's never going to be a time where they create a search and then they don't want it active. And if it is, then we can always change that later. Okay, so let's try this. Okay, so the is active works. Sorry, the inactive works. And so we're going to say, we're going to say, oops. True. Of course, that's not going to work yet because we don't have the method created in our factory. So we're just going to copy this. Apparently my typing skills leave something to be desired today. Okay, so we have that passing test. Okay, the next thing, it has a max number of members in the group. So we're going to say search equals max members. And actually, no, we're not even going to create one with it. We're just going to assume that the factory is smart enough to build us one with it. And so we were going to say max members to be int. Okay, so again, oops, wrong test. That's going to fail. And so we are going to say max members equals, we'll say random int between 1 and 5. Okay, and so now we're going to add the field in the database, table, integer, max members, and we're not going to set a default. I mean, we can probably assume a lot of the time it's going to be 1, but it's not necessarily going to be. Okay, number of new members being searched for. So we can say that. Again, that's going to fail because we're not setting this here. Members. Okay, then we're going to add it to the migration. Another passing test, cool. We're going to skip this test right now because this is functionality that we're going to have to add later. Actually, you know what? Let's do it. Can reduce the number of new members being searched for. So we're going to say search equals that, and we're going to say new members, sure, it's 5, and then reduce new members 1, and now we want to expect, yes, new members to be 4. Of course, that function doesn't exist, so we'll add that on our model. So we will say function reduce new members, and this is going to be an int, sure, by the amount, and we will say yes. Save, yes. If any of you watching know why that stupid window comes up all the time, I would love to know how I can avoid that in the future with NeoVim. Cool. I don't know why this test shows up as this kind and seeing it's failed even though it's a pass, and this one is not. I do not understand Neo test sometimes. I'm curious if it's this. Yep, it is. So that's interesting. Okay, it has a buy-in price, so we can add this. To be int, yep. And yes, okay, so buy-in price is going to fail, of course. Buy-in price. We're going to make this a little more realistic and say it's between 1,000 and 5,000. Not that it really matters, but I'm just thinking from a database seeding perspective when I'm playing around, I don't want to see that it's a buy-in price of $1 kind of thing. And actually, with that said, we're going to say it's in cents. Okay. Buy-in price. Cool. Okay, it has notes about the group. So, yep. Now, I think I want to reword this to say it can have notes about the group because it won't always. And so I want to actually specify that notes are not necessarily given. Yeah, some notes. Yes. And I think that's when it comes to coding like this, especially with tests, because these can be used as documentation, I want to make them grammatically correct. So, for example, a ticket season search has to have a buy-in price. Like, it doesn't make sense to have a listing for free, right? No one's going to be offering a spot in their season tickets for free, or at least we're not going to have that functionality. But it won't necessarily have notes. So it has a buy-in price. We can be sure 100% of the time it has a buy-in price, but it can have notes, as in they're optional, right? So when I'm writing my tests, a big thing for me is making sure that I use the right modifier. I'm not sure if that's an adverb or whatever the correct word is. Like, I want to make sure that it's written correctly so that it makes sense for someone who's reading it, so that this can kind of like be implied to be like, can optionally have notes about the group where it has to have a buy-in price kind of thing. That's how I write my tests. Okay, so what are we missing here? We don't have the migration. That's fine. So we will say, and actually this is going to be a text field, not an integer. And yes, it can be nullable. And so let's just run these quickly, make sure we haven't broken anything. Seeing green checks all the way around. Awesome. Okay, so we have the ability to add notes, which is good. It can have many potential members. Okay, we're going to leave that for a bit. And then can approve a potential member by the administrator. Okay, that's going to be functionality that we're going to have to add later. Can reject whatever and cannot be modified by non-admins. Okay, and so So we have a working model, like a data model of what a ticket season search is supposed to look like. So if we go back to our design here, so all of these things, oh, actually, we didn't have the section, the sections. And so this, first of all, seats, oh, right. And how many seats? Okay. It has a number of seats. Expect search, yes. Seats count to be int, yes. And how do we want to do this? Because what I'm also thinking about is we never want to accept a okay, so I'm going to add a couple of to-do tests here for once we start building out like things like the Livewire components. So it knows that the number of seats cannot be less than 1. It knows that the buy-in price cannot be less than 1. Without a to-do. Okay, so what else do we got? Has a number of seats. It knows that the number of seats cannot be less than 1. Okay, and then we also need and this is going to be a kind of a text field. It has a section in the. I'm just trying to think of the best way to write this. So what I'm thinking about is like if you look at like an arena, there's going to be like a section where your seats are located. And that's as specific as we're going to get. We're not going to have specific seats, but we are going to say the section so that someone generally knows, like, if I'm spending $5,000, I'm not getting up in the nosebleeds kind of thing, right? So it has a section in the, and I'm trying to think of the most generic way to write this. It has a section in the venue, I guess is the best way to say it. So let's go with search equals blah. And then we're going to say expect search section to be string. Okay, so this one's going to fail first. Okay, that's fine. So we're going to say seats count is a random int. Yeah, sure. And this above here, table integer. Oh my goodness. Seats count, yes. Okay, that one's good. And then this one's going to fail. So this one is the section, right? Okay, so section is going to be how do I want to write this? I want to make it a more like realistic looking section. So we're going to say like random int 100 through 300. I think is more like, because like your section is going to be like section 105 or section 204 or whatever, right? So I think that's a more realistic looking one. Not that it really matters. We're only ever going to see it in testing, but I just want to make it, again, clearer. So this is going to be a table string section. And now that I'm saying this out loud, this should be casted to a string. Okay, so now this should pass. Awesome. Okay, so again, let's go back to our design here. So we have all of the things because we don't need to track the team name because we can fetch that through the relationship from the ticket season. So we don't need to worry about that. The current members, in fact, we can get from the ticket season as well. Max number of members in the group. In fact, I don't think we need the max number of members. Now that I'm saying this out loud, because because we can fetch the number of members from the from the ticket season itself. So let's get rid of all those references. Okay, so and actually, we also want to say while we're here, it cannot reduce the number of users, this. And so we're going to say reduce new members 1. And we want it to still be 0. Reduce new members 1 to be 0. Okay, obviously this is going to fail because right now it's only going to return -1. If this new members is less than 0, this new members equals 0. Exactly. Cool. Okay, so now we know they can't go below 0 on that. That's good. What else do we want to make sure of? So the number of seats has a number of seats, knows that the number of seats cannot be less than 1. We're just going to enforce that on the creation, so that's fine. It knows that the bind price cannot be less than 1. We're going to force that on the creation. Okay. All right, so we have a working data model. So let's commit these. Ticket season search test. Yep. Creating the working and tested base search model. Cool. All right. Okay, so I think what we can do is I think I want to create a blade component that will display this, and then we will work on the bigger marketplace creation after, like to display multiples. So I think what I'm going to do is, you know what? I think I'm going to have to make the marketplace component just so that we have something to kind of put this in with a view and everything. So this is going to be kind of not TDD, not perfect TDD, but close enough. We're not going to be doing anything other than just displaying this stuff right now, and then we can worry about like the functionality later. So I'm okay with going outside of TDD this one time for this. Not me to do that. And while that's going, I will go art make Livewire marketplace. Yep, cool. Oh, okay. Sorry, this is going to ask me for my key for Codium, so I'm just going to hide my screen for a second. That's annoying. How do I Codium? Well, I have no idea if Codium is going to work. That's unfortunate, but that's okay. So we're going to go to the marketplace, and I will show my screen here in a second. Marketplace.blade. Okay, well, Codium still seems to be working. I don't know why, considering it was going to ask me for my key, but that's okay. Okay, so I have opened the Livewire component, and the actual blade template for it. And the other thing we need to create now is the blade component. Make component. So this is going to be marketplace item, I guess. Do I want to? Okay, I think let's see if we can make this a. Well, no. Okay. So we are going to say marketplace. So when it renders, we want so public marketplace items equals that, and so this marketplace items equals ticket season search. And so we're going to create a scope on ticket season search. So let's say this is, of course, not going to work. We're going to say get. So we're going to add search test. And so we're going to add a scope that's going to say it can return only active searches. So we're going to say yank this. So this one is going to be active count 3. And we're going to yank that, and we are going to make 5 inactive. And so if we say expect ticket season search active count to be 3, again, this is going to fail immediately, initially, sorry, because we don't have the scope defined. So now let's go create that. So ticket search. And as we learned the other day, it's a returning a void, which is still kind of weird to me, but function scope active return. We take in an instance of the builder, database query. Yep, and we are going to say query where that was like a proxy method, but I guess not, is active is true. Okay, so let's go take a look and see if that returns the right thing now. No. Oh. I never remember which one it's supposed to be. So this is supposed to be the eloquent builder, not the query builder. Cool. Okay, so now we say active get. And the other thing that we want, so we always want to, do we care? No, okay, we don't. Okay, so we have the marketplace items. So now if we just go, for each marketplace items as item, we will end for each that. For right now, I just want to dump out the item just so that we can make sure that we're actually getting the right data. And we'll have to add this to a route. So, what do we want to do here? We don't want this particular route. The marketplace itself is not going to be protected to be logged in. You just won't be able to contact anyone if you're not logged in. So we will say route get marketplace, and this will be the marketplace class, and it will have a name of marketplace. Yes. So if we go here, no, stupid. Go to the marketplace to get, oh, right, because we haven't actually done anything yet here. So art migrate. Okay, call to function get dark mode on null. Oh, because it's importing that from, So basically this is saying, actually, you know what? Let's update that. So which layout app? Pardon me. Layout app. So right now, I'm just going to say auth user so if they're logged in, they're going to get dark mode. So that should fix our current problem, but what I want is for it to be kind of dark mode by default. Right, there we go. Cool. All right, so now we have a marketplace. Right now it's obviously not it's not got any searches in there. So let's go and just into Tinker and create one. So we'll go art Tinker. So we're going to say ticket season search create. Okay, so what all do we need here? Actually, I guess what we can do, pardon me, if we just go season search factory create, this should app models. Oh, okay, so we're going to say auth. What is it? Is it logged in? I never remember. Let's just take a look at what methods we have on the auth. Okay, auth login. Okay, auth login as a app models user factory create. Cool. So now we have a ticket season search. So if we refresh this, oh, okay. So text is white and we need to change it to white, but that's fine because it's there. So if we go back to this and we just add a couple of simple classes so that we can actually see what we're doing. Class equals, I'm going to say text zinc 100 for now. Cool. So we have this marketplace item showing up. So now we want to, what was the name of the component we created? Marketplace item. Okay. So for each marketplace item, we're going to say X marketplace item is an item. Okay, so this is going to disappear because we don't have anything actually in the marketplace item blade. So we're going to say marketplace item. This is going to take in a ticket season search as the item. We'll make this public so that we can actually access it on the component. And again, if we just write this out, because again, okay, so it's not showing us stuff, so why not? Let's see, ticket season search item. We're passing it in as the item. Okay, so we're promoting it right there. Let's just DD out item to see what we're getting. Okay, so we're not getting an actual thing here. So are we not calling it correctly? Marketplace item, item equals item. So why is it not taking it in properly? Marketplace item. That. We're accepting it in the constructor. It should be returning it. It should be available on the view because it's made public. So why is it not displaying? Let's just take a look here. Okay, so it is kind of showing, like at least the component is actually displaying. It's just not displaying the right thing. So, why? Marketplace items, marketplace item. Well, let's go take a look at the docs. Laravel blade component. Templates, fine. Okay, so so we're not going to take in Livewire, although we might just do that to make this easier. Components, passing data to components. Okay, so X alert, whatever, and we're just passing in the $, yeah. Yeah, so we shouldn't have to like make it available. It should just be there, and then it should be available as the, like it's proxied through this class to the view class. Again, this shouldn't matter. Item is coming there. Yeah, it's still not showing up. So what is going on here? When we display those are ticket season searches. Okay, now I'm just wondering, is the one that it created in that Oh yeah, it should be because I think we called active, but we'll go take a look. Ticket season searches is active is 1. So it definitely should be showing up there. Let's go like this. Public. Believe it is. I want to say it's this one. It might have the wrong one here, but we'll go take a look. Okay, so it's putting them in there correctly. Just go this marketplace items. Okay, so it's a collection that has 1 ticket season search in there. Okay. So when we're looping through these, why is it not passing it through? Unless you just can't send full objects. Okay, I think what we'll do is let's go to view components. Let's just delete this. And our resources, views, components, marketplace item, delete that. And let's just go art, make Livewire marketplace item. And so now we will go here and we will change this from an X to Livewire marketplace item. We will say marketplace item here, and on the mount method, mount, we will take in the ticket season search item. Okay, and we will say, yeah, this item equals item, sure. Public ticket season search item, yep. And so now if we go to marketplace item, let's just dump out the item here. Let's see if we're getting the right stuff. Probably not. Still not. So what are we not doing correctly? Okay, so is it getting the correct thing? Yes. Pardon me. It is getting the right data as a ticket season search type, but it is just not sending it through. Let's supercharge our blade with Livewire. Documentation. Components. Okay, setting properties, blah, blah, blah. Where is the passing data into components? It's past dynamic data. Okay, so let's go like, this should be done already for us, but let's just be super explicit. Guess not. Okay, so, all right. So here's where we get to do the fun stuff of designing this, this component from this. So first, what do we get? Just, so if we say, okay, so we're actually going to have to go like this. For these ticket season searches, they are going to have to automatically load the relationships. Whoops. Because whenever we're looking at a ticket season search, we will always be looking for information that's kind of related to it. So like the season and the team and stuff, right? So we can simplify that with Laravel when we say protected with equals, and we can include the information that we want. So we can say like ticket season, and I think we can even do season and league. I think we can do that. Can we do that? I think we can. Yes, cool. So we have all this other cool information that we are going to need. So things like the league has the full name of blah, blah, blah. And okay, so we've got all the information that we need here. And so with this, we are, we're not just dumping it out somewhere, are we? And this is giving us a false sense of security. I don't think so. No, okay. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to our game details, I believe it's called. Yep. Game details. And I want to copy all of this. And a lot of this is not going to actually be useful, but it'll give us kind of a good starting ground for what we're trying to accomplish here. So we can close this, close that. And we will just say paste. Okay, and delete that, delete that, delete that. Okay, so this is going to be div. We're not going to need wire sortable, so we're going to just DT $. Okay, and this is unnecessary as well. Again, we're going to get a bunch of errors, but that's okay. We're just going to fix them one at a time. So, hover states. Are we always going to have hover states? Yes. I think that's... okay, we don't care about those, so we can just say D7D. Okay, so now it's looking for game information. This, of course, is not a game, it's an item. And so let's go here and say D10D. Let's just say H1 is going to be Calgary. No, actually, we're going to have the team name information in there. So we can say item. What do we want? We want the, so what do we have? So we have the ticket season ID. So that's going to say the team. So it's item, season, team. Is it full name or is it name? I can never remember. Nickname. Team nickname. And we gotta close that tag. Now let's just see if we're getting anything on the screen here. Don't need to read property team on null. Okay, so are we not getting the season? Okay, so we're not getting the season. Oh, it's because it's called ticket season. Right. Ticket season. And team nickname. Cool. So we want to H1 this. And that's going to be the full width, which sucks. So padding right, padding left. I think on the marketplace here, we are going to set a max width of 7 XL. And we're going to put this in the middle. That's not the right way. And remember if it's item center or justify. What am I doing wrong here? Item center, justify between. Okay, well, whatever. I can stay over there for now. Max width 7XL. Stay on the left and then we'll figure out the centering later. Not something I want to spend a ton of time on today. Okay, so our H1 is going to be class text 4XL, font bold. Yep. Oops. Say P4. Okay. Actually, all the hover states I just want to get rid of because we don't care about them. So, okay, good, no hover state. Okay, so what do we want to do? We want to have the logo, the team logo kind of sat behind them. And so for that, we'll go back to the game selection and pull the code of how we did that. Okay, so it must be on game details. Game details, blade. And this is going to have to be relative. So this is going to be item, ticket, season, team logo, URI. Yep. Of course, that one doesn't have a actual, like a legitimate logo, so that's going to be a bit difficult. Do we have any we can hard code temporarily? Sports teams. Cool. Okay, so it's sat way below there. This actually doesn't need to be relative. It's the parent one that needs to be, and it already is. So we can delete and paste it there. And now, okay, so it's going to sit behind on the bottom, on the left there, like that. And so we will figure out the dynamism in a bit. So what do we do? Okay, so let's go back to our design again. And actually, I'm going to put this beside here so we can kind of get a side-by-side and get an idea of what it's supposed to look like. Okay, so along the bottom, like aligned with the bottom of this text, is going to be the buy-in on the right-hand side. So we're going to say div div. This is going to be a class of flex justify between, and we're going to have a second div, which is going to have the items buy-in price. And this is going to look like crap. Why is that not getting pushed? P4 full. That's not great. Oh, okay. So the other thing we want to do is we want to say align, I think it's baseline. I want to say baseline, yeah. And so basically, what we're trying to do is get this text to align with the bottom of that. So what is the line bottom? Now, even though we're back to that, it's still sitting in the wrong spot. Why? Why? Justify between. Okay, so let's close that for a second. Let's go into our picker and let's see, why is this one? So this P4, oh. Line baseline. It's still not what we're looking for, but at least it's on the right side now. So tailwind, align text baseline. Align the baseline of an element with the baseline of its parent. Okay, so that is not what I'm thinking. Text align. No. that's going to solve our problem, but no. There's got it. I know there is a, like, put the align text bottom. I don't think it's that. No. Okay. For now, I'm not going to focus on that. Let's get back into Excalibur so we can see what we're working on here. Excalibur. Okay, well, we'll worry about just getting the other data in here, and we'll focus on the data, and I'll worry about styling later. Okay, so we have the top div. We're going to have another div. This is going to be the other main kind of bit of content here. So we're going to have div of, for the, what do we have? Current members and looking for and contact. I will go through here and do more semantic markup later. I just want to get this stuff down first. This is going to be current members. And this is going to be item, ticket season, members count. Is it not members? Ticket season members. Okay, so it is that, so that's just not going to work. So we're going to have to go like count current members. Okay. And so we're going to do class flex justify between again, because we want to space these equally apart. And so what do we got? Looking for item new members. I guess I should spell class correctly. Cool. And then this is just going to be a button. And it's going to say contact. All right, so let's make this button a little less texty. Class equals, so we want to say text. No, text is already the right color. We want to say P2 BG green. We want to say 500. Rounded SM. Cool. Actually, let's go like this. Instead of doing class and just splitting them like that, class equals width 1/3. Oh my goodness. This is why when I say it's funny watching me do trying to fight with NeoVim. This is the kind of stuff that I'm talking about. Okay. So we still need flex. I guess all that was for nothing. So let's just put this back to how it was. Okay, and so the idea is like there will be like a little button at the bottom here that you can click, and it'll expand and show more information about the season. So let us do that. So in fact, what I really want is I want PT for PX for PB2. Now it's putting the contact button higher up, kind of putting the text in the top of these divs. Ugh. Used to be better at this stuff. Wow. It's been a long time since I've done any Tailwind stuff. Line middle, no. I don't believe this needs to be baseline. No. Sure, this has to be a line middle, and there's. Do you have to do it here too? Nope, that one's still in the wrong place. Okay, again, for right now, not going to worry about it too much. Okay, so let's just make this little kind of drop down. We'll have like a little tab here that you can kind of click to get more information, to get like the seat and section information. So how do we want to do this? I think what we're going to do is we're going to say that div. We're going to close that div. Okay, so nothing should change. Oh, of course it does. Flex overflow hidden. Relative justify between item center. Oh, I think, you know what, actually. Items center, I think that's actually the right one. There we go. Okay, so those are vertically aligned, which means this items end. Don't care about, oops, we do care about relative. Don't need that because Width full. Is there like a max width on here? All right, there we go. Okay, so let's close this one. Just want to close some of these open buffers here that we don't need anymore. That one we don't need. Don't care about that for right now. Don't care about that for right now. So, in fact, we don't need this. Don't need that. I'm going to create another div of class absolute. And in here, just going to say hello for now, and we're going to say write. It's absolutely positioned, and so we want width 1/2. No, we don't want it like that. We want it left 0, right 0. Oh, okay. Let's delete this, paste it here. So this should show up underneath here. Yep. Don't care about the absolute positioning. Okay. And so we want width full. And items, no, justify center. Should put it in the middle. It's not putting it in the middle. There we go. Okay, so we want to make this like a little pull down tab. And again, I'm not going to make this look super pretty today. I just want to make it look passable for now, and then we can kind of make it look better later. So make a new div. This is going to be kind of our design div. And so we're going to say class width, let's say 8. Rounded SM border 2 border. Just go white to see if. Yep. So we want some padding on this. MT1. Okay, and so really this is going to be a clickable button. So let's fix that. And we'll say SR only. No. What's the show more details? Because yeah, what the idea is, once you click on this button, it's going to pop down a little drawer thing to show the rest of the information here, if you're interested, kind of thing. So this is going to say wire click, show details. Yes. Marketplace item. show details, and it's going to take in the item ID. So it's going to be an int. I'm just going to say item ID. And so we will have a details visible equals false by default. And you know what, let's change this to toggle. Toggle details, and this will be show details. So we'll say this show details equals this show, not this show details, right? Okay, so this is going to be toggle details. I'm going to pass in the ID, and then if we're toggling the details, if we're showing the details, and we're going to end that, and we're going to say actually, let's do this way. Class equals actually, not for right now. Let's just show it all the time, so we can see what it looks like, and then we can worry about the functionality. So we will say div class okay, so we're gonna have a div for this top line and then a div for the bottom. So let's go. No. Can I do this? No. Apparently Emmet isn't working here. So we'll say div. Okay, so this is the entire extra details. Okay, I'm having an awful day here. So let's yank this. Yank, paste. And then in here, we will also paste. Class equals flex justify between. So how do we have it? Section. Okay, so section equals item section. Seats. So what is the value that we called it? Ticket season searches. Seats count. Item seats count. And then finally pick pattern. Pick pattern. And so this is going to be the item ticket season. And this is probably not going to look very great right now. That's fine. Pick pattern. So let's put some margin on this. So we're inside here. Some padding. Pick pattern 1. Okay, so yeah, so we can fix that by getting the pick pattern. I think it's like value. Value on int. Okay. Can worry about that later. Okay, so we have section 191, seats 3, pick pattern, blah. And then this is just going to be notes. item notes. Just put some fake notes in here just so we have something to work with. Cool. Okay, so obviously this does not look great right now. So what we will do is, let's go like this. Move this to the bottom, number 1. Okay, so now the button's going to be on the bottom. So what we will do is we will say block or hidden. Yeah, pretty much. If we click this, they show up, click it, goes away. Beautiful. All right. Now let's make this look a little better. And let's say width 1/2. Nope. Had it right the first time. Width 1/2. We want to put this in the middle. So we will say justify between. Flex, justify between. Nope. I think what I need to do is go flex, justify between, and then add another div in here. No. Close Excalibur draw. Let's try and figure this out. Width 1/2. Flex, justify center. This feels like kindergarten CSS here. Tailwind center div horizontally. Yeah, these are all vertical. Justify center, right. So why is this not justifying it century? All right. So let's say 2/3. How does this look? Not horrible. Okay, that's closer. Okay, so let's make this look a little better. And we will say space Y2. Give this a little more breathing room. And we will let's add a border to the top, sort of the bottom border B, border, can we do X? Does that work? No. Border L, border R. Still going the full width, which is annoying. So we want this to go on here. And we'll say rounded SM, border 2. Okay, so we got to apply it on the border R and stuff. So border R2, border B2, border L2. Yeah, okay, so it's getting, I don't know if this shows up on stream here, but there's a bit of roundedness on this top left corner, and I'm assuming on the top right too. Yeah. So let's fix that. I believe we can do rounded SM, rounded BSM. So it's only rounded on the bottom. On the top should be square. Yep. Cool. And so if we do, can we do a transition so it's not so jarring? Transition. Show details block and opacity 100. Hidden is opacity 0. So my thinking is, like, can we add? No, so it's not going to let us do that. So even though it has an opacity the whole time, it's still. All right, well, whatever. Okay, let's go make another one just so we can see it. Lazy load team. Lazy loading is disabled. Okay, that's good that it's throwing this, because this is exactly what we want. We want to prevent like lazy loading stuff. So ticket season team nickname. So let's go take a look at that relationship. The search. And we also want the ticket season team. Lazy load members. Okay, so we're also going to need the ticket season member dot members. There we go. Okay, so we got a few there. Obviously, we'll have to make the logo still dynamic, but we've got, so that comes down. Cool. And so let us also add class equals P PY4. The space. I want to click on that. Yep. Cool. Maybe PY3. Yeah, that looks a bit better. Okay, so let's put some padding on here. P4. P3. Okay, what else we got? We can expand all of these. These should be independent. Good stuff. Okay, so I think I'm going to call it here, just because we're at a place where everything is generally working. The next stuff we're going to have to do is start building the filtering for the marketplace, number one, and number two, actually start building the ability for like the admin of a season to say that they're looking for people. So we TDD'd all the things, we build the models, and we built the Livewire components. And yeah, so on the next stream, hopefully tomorrow, I plan on streaming tomorrow unless things get in the way. Tomorrow we will work on the filters for the marketplace. So like if you don't care about hockey seasons, you should be able to filter that out and just look for football or whatever you're looking for. And then the league and then the team, if you're only looking for your specific team, which would make sense, right? We'll build those filters, and then we'll probably start working on the form for the admin of the season to actually list their market or their season on the marketplace. Initially, we'll just build it as if it's free, and then later, once we get the initial form built, then we will look at integrating something like Cashier or whatever to actually do the payment. So I think we're good here. Just one last check. TDD all things, built the models, built the Livewire components. I think we're good. So yeah, thank you very much for joining me today. It was a really fun stream. We got a whole lot done. Yeah, just I'm kind of actually impressed at how far we got today. So yeah, thanks for joining. And I will see you in the next one. Later.